listening to one radio program after another this morning talking about the impact robotics are having on the labor force. I had been hearing some kind of in alternative media, and you just think, well, here we go again. This is something that's been going on for the last 40 years that I know of, that people have been, well, actually longer than that, 50 years anyway, that robotics have been displacing workers. And I'm just hearing it non-stop now in all industries. It's really, really weird that this is really becoming so evident all of a sudden. That it's as if there's a giant wave of this, and I don't think it's just people's consciousness opening up to this. I think that we are wiping out no telling how many jobs now with robotics, and I've heard lots of first-hand stories of people that deal with it, and I just had no idea it was this bad, and it affects us all, me, you, everybody, because just a person losing their job to a machine is one thing, but I think that for every person that loses their job to a machine, it impacts many, many more people, almost logarithmic. Now, one thing, especially with my background in machines, it would be easy for me to say, well, just get a job being the guy who works on the robots. Well, I mean, there's something to that, but it's not quite so simple, especially when you have an unbelievable amount of displaced workers vying for that same job. Everybody can't be the guy who works on the robots or the machines. Plus, that takes a very high degree of skill and knowledge. It takes many, many years to acquire. And if I'm having this hard a time finding a job in that same field, it really sends chills up and down my spine to think about what the situation is revealing itself to be. It's pretty scary. And all along, having left the field that I did, and really, I don't want to go back into it, but I do keep an eye out for the jobs that are available in that field, and there's just not any. All along, from the time all this started, I really had been I recognized the possibility that I might have to go into a much lower paying job, whatever is available, and it may be so bad that I have to take two jobs. And at any point in my life, other than just the advancing years, which makes it harder to do something like that, for any point in my life before, I'm in the best position now to do that. I don't want to. That's absurd. That 100 years ago, unions came about for the purpose of putting a stop to that, and then we've come full circle to where people are having to go back into that. It's disgusting. It's a disgusting failure in political and economic policies. It's a disgusting failure in the attitude of business, that human resources mean so little. But that's also the greatest resource they have, that's that they can abuse, that's so cheap. Anyway, I just was listening. One radio program after another I turned to, and they were talking about how I mean, one station was talking about it in the dairy industry. Another station was talking about it literally in the construction industry. How, and you can't help but wonder how in the heck robotics can replace that kind of manpower, but it's happening right now. It's scary and probably going to get a lot more scary. And the whole essence of this channel is, what about older people? What about people in my age range? What about us? I agree. What about young people? But I'm not in that group. I'm not a young person. I care about my position. Yeah, we should leave something for the succeeding generations, but look at what's been left to us. It reminds me of what Peter Schiff said. He said, this catastrophe is not we're not pawning this off on future generations. It's going to happen to us now. And that's what I care about, is me and my situation now. And it's bad for young people, it's bad for old people. And the news media is going to keep on putting this off as if, this catastrophe is not happening until they say it's happening. And I guess what it's going to end up having to be is they're not going to recognize it until there's a body count. People dying in the street. So that's one thing that needs to disappear, is that perverted liberal sellout mentality, fascist. The fascist setup we got going with mass media and the establishment. It's perverted. I never did watch the whole movie Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, but I've watched parts of it. And I'm constantly reminded of what Burl Ives said all through that movie was mendacity. Everything's a bald-faced lie. I mean, a bald-faced lie, self-serving liars out there. Nothing's true about anything. Man, I'm afraid to say he's probably had it more right than anybody. Anyway, that's all for now.